these chances you get are very fleeting. So if you don't get on them now, they're gone. So you better get on it, and you better be courageous about it.
Hello, all you incredible explorers. Caleb Quest here, along with my Van Esperanza. And you know, I love bringing you guys inspirational stories about adventurers, and they don't always have to be paragliders or mountain climbers. Sometimes they're people who have interesting, unique adventures that a lot of us could enjoy if we just kind of expanded our horizons. And today is exactly that. I've known Chris for a long time, and he is an incredible friend, an incredible adventurer, and somebody who really shows their true colors. So before we get to it, all of you guys who have been supporting us, Amy Goudot, thank you so much for your huge purchase on our website. You guys helped us actually get $50 more towards our giveaway next month, which we are going to be giving away skateboards to some really awesome girls who deserve it. So if you guys want to get on that, the link to our website's in the comments. Just go ahead and click it, find something you love, and then help us on our giveaway next month, which is going to be super cool. And when you watch the video, you're going to be able to know that you were a part of that. So thank you, Amy, and thank you for everybody else. Let's go ahead and get to Chris's story because it is super cool, along with his tattoos.
My name is Christopher Sean Navin Harker, and I am a modern day blacksmith. I actually got into blacksmithing by chance. I had a friend who started doing it, and I actually had no interest in doing it in the beginning. I would just go to my friend's house and actually turn the bellows for her, and then finally she kept saying, you know, try it, try it, try it. I'm like, no, I don't want to try it. So finally I actually did, and I found that I absolutely loved it. I used her anvil, and I basically used all of her stuff. And then slowly over the years, I got more and more things. And then finally I got to the point where I had enough for my own smithy. So I built one in my own backyard. The name of the place where you do blacksmithing is called a smithy. I use what's called an anvil. That's what I hit the metal on with the hammer. I shape and what's called forging. And an anvil has the top, which is the face, it has the horn, and then it has its base, and you use the face, the sides, and the horn for everything that you do. So you have to figure out how you're going to hit the metal at just such an angle on that thing to make it do what you want to do. So I use tongs because your hands can't hold fiery hot things. And the different tongs are made to be different ways to hold different kinds and shapes of iron. You could have 100 tongs if you wanted to hold the different kinds of metal. I also use hammers, and again, like tongs, they're very specific to the type of job that you're doing. Some are for rounding, some are for actually the forging. You can even use sledgehammers if you're doing something huge. The forge is probably the second most important thing because that's where you heat the metal. You have to heat the metal up to where it's being orange hot or it's not going to move. Once you get it up to yellow hot, which is the hottest it goes before the metal starts to burn, metal actually does burn, that is when you can hit it and it's the same consistency as modeling clay. First I started out with this little tiny Mjolnir that I made. It's actually not tiny when you're looking at a lot of pendants made by blacksmiths, but it was really hard for me because it was really small. As you can see, it's actually rather crudely done, but I was pretty proud of it when I was finished. So I keep this so that I remember all the times that I was like, oh man, this is the best thing ever. And then, you know, maybe it wasn't so great, but I was learning and I was progressing, so that's really important. My true passion is I like jewelry. I'm a jeweler. The smaller things that you make in blacksmithing, the harder it is to do because you're holding on to them real close, and these things are like orange hot, like 1,000 degrees, and you're holding on to them. That's why I have to wear gloves and things like that. But I'm like getting in there and I'm doing these tiny little intricate things. I love intricate work. The advice I would give someone who's getting into it, like how they're going to go out and they're going to find other people, they're going to find resources. The best thing that you can do is go to like a Renaissance fair, look for old time, like reenactment kinds of things, and that's where you're really going to find where the blacksmiths all come together. Probably the greatest skill that I learned from blacksmithing is actually summed up in a quote that I learned from one of my teachers named Daniel Klug. He asked me, what is the difference between a master and a beginner? Of course, I said I didn't know. He told me that a master has failed more times than a beginner has even tried. So the greatest skill that I learned in this was just keep failing. Fail and fail and fail and fail. Each time you fail, you'll learn a little more. You get so frustrated, but you keep at it and you just keep learning and learning and learning. It's a slow process, but I mean, anything that you love, that's what you'll do. Adventure to me means living the life that human beings evolved to live. Human beings, for most of their history, were hunter-gatherers. They were wanderers. So it's literally in our DNA to have wanderlust. And it doesn't necessarily have to be wanderlust as in like you have to go somewhere, but you can also have a lust to try new things, to wander through the activities of life, to find what you like. Human beings have a very inquisitive nature, and the reason that we have gotten to the level that we have gotten is because human beings tried new things. They weren't afraid to go into the unknown as most of the other animals are. The things that I would say to people to find their own adventure is to try new things. If anything piques your interest, try it. I mean, like I said with my own story, I had absolutely no interest in blacksmithing in the beginning, but then my friend got me to try it, and I am way more into it than she has ever been. So try new things, meet new people, find new perspectives, actually consider them, think about the value that they may have to your own life, travel a lot, see how other people do things. Growing up, I was very afraid of a lot of different things. I really strived to be myself. I wasn't all the way myself, and I was often held back for fear. I'm now coming into my middle age, and I really found out that most people really don't care what you're doing because they're not even really thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves. And I don't mean like in any kind of a selfish way, but they're worried about their own lives. They're worried about their bills. They're worried about this, that, and the other. So that gives you a lot of freedom. Like you can let your freak flag fly, as I've heard the saying go. Because most people, sure, they might see you and judge for a second, but after that, there's a saying that I actually want to get tattooed on my chest named Frank Turner. He says, "It won't last, so be bold." Essentially, that means that these chances you get are very fleeting. So if you don't get on them now, they're gone. So you better get on it, and you better be courageous about it. Look at what you wanted to do when you were a little kid. Remember what it is that just made you the happiest thing that you could have ever done. I personally used to love to build forts. That was what I did. So I love to build things. So I looked at the fact that I like to build things, and I went and I started building multiple things to find what I wanted. It eventually turned into, I like forming metal by heating it up and hitting it with hammers, blacksmithing. But look back at what you were before the world began to grind you down. Find some way that you can pay for what you want to do. If it's not going to be the actual craft you're going to do, find a job that will pay the bills you need, but will also give you time to follow what you want to do. So at the end of the day, even if it's some crap job, take that money, go home, and go on your quest. Even if you're afraid, do it anyway. You will miss your opportunities in life if you do not take them by the horns, as the saying goes. So even if you're afraid, do it anyway. Because even if people think you're a little strange, they'll respect you because you have the courage to do it. If you want something bad enough, you will find a way and it will happen.
Wow, was that story awesome or what? I know I loved it. I know he loves it. It's his story. If you don't want a new tattoo, then I don't know what you're doing in life, because I know I want like 20 of them. He's got some rad tattoos. If you don't want a tattoo, but you want a pair of our awesome shorts, please check out our website, because as you know, next month we're gonna do a big giveaway where we give a bunch of skateboards and other things to some rad girls who deserve it. And in the meantime, make sure you press subscribe and the notification bell so you get all of our stories coming at you. And thank you guys so much for being with us. Oh, don't forget to press that like button, smash it right now, because that's a huge support for us, and we really appreciate it. Thank you guys for everything, and we will see you next week.